There's 4 ways to create passive income, and I'm going to give you these are high categories, but there's one way that they don't tell you about. Nobody talks about the 4th way to build passive income. So I'm going to reveal that secret to you.
Let me talk to you black people. We tired of frying chicken to bury you. Now, you got all them purses and all that gold and all that hair and all them cars and all them rims and all them belt buckles. But then when it comes time to go to the dentist, you need a prayer meeting?
In order to build wealth, in order to create passive income, you have to buy assets. And those assets will pay for your liabilities. Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins, and I am your host, Angelina Watkins, your queen of becoming, here to help you become who you need to be so you can do what you're purposed to do, so you can live the life that you want to live. And this podcast is here to help you get out of your own way, to help you become in all areas of your life, whether it's love and relationships, money and business, or just an overall becoming a better you. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I do welcome you. This episode is packed with a lot of valuable information, so I hope that you enjoy it. And if you do, as always, whether you're new or you've been coming for a while, always leave me a comment. Let me know how you've enjoyed it, and also let me know what questions you have or what other topics that you'd like me to talk about. So we're going to get right into today. Today, we're going to talk about 4 ways to create passive income. But before we start talking about passive income, I want to play this video, my thought prompt of the day, that's going to get us started into creating the passive income.
Let me talk to you black people. We tired of frying chicken to bury you. Now, you got all them purses and all that gold and all that hair and all them cars and all them rims and all them belt buckles. But then when it comes time to go to the dentist, you need a prayer meeting? You have no business with a Louis Vuitton purse and a cavity. I don't care what you say. Get the cavity fixed and then go get a Michael Kors. Do something with your life. Now, if you want a pastor, let me know. If you want me to just come up here and make you happy, we got to get a structure for our life. Some stuff you don't need to pray about. You just need a structure. I don't have to pray to pay my bills. I got a structure. I pray for stuff like, Lord, let my mama have long life. I pray, Lord, make sure these cars don't hit me when I'm on the road. Lord, make sure lightning don't strike the house. Lord, make sure I got my prayer set up for stuff that my structure can't handle.
Selling dinners, creating GoFundMe accounts to bury your loved ones, that's a topic for a whole nother day. I'm not going to get into that today. But what he did say is that we have money to pay for hair, belts and cars and rims, but we don't have no money to pay for our education. We don't have no money to even go to the dentist or to go to the doctor. Okay, so we buy these things that doesn't bring us any type of value in our lives. But we can spend over $100 a month on hair, every month on getting our hair done. But we can't spend less than $100 to cover your life in case something happens, to create the wealth that you need in case something happens. We can't even spend less than $100 to go to therapy that we really need. We can't spend less than $100 to educate ourselves or get some type of culture mentor to help better our lives. But we got the money for the things that don't bring us value. And so we've got to change our money mindset. Before we even begin to talk about the 4 ways to create passive income, we got to talk about changing the money mindset. Because if you don't change your money mindset, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to build the wealth that you really want and need for the lifestyle that you want. So in my book that I wrote that I'm going to be releasing here soon, I talk about law number 10, which is buying assets over liabilities. In order to build wealth, in order to create passive income, you have to buy assets, and those assets will pay for your liabilities. You buy assets to pay for the hair, to pay for the cars, to pay for the rims and the belts and the houses and the vacations and all of those things that you want. We have to start buying assets first, valuable things that produce income to pay for the liabilities and to pay for the lifestyle and to pay for those material things that we want. But we're not buying assets, and so you have to know that in order to build wealth, you're going to have to buy assets in order to create that passive income, because wealth is about creating passive income. you've got to invest in assets. But there are certain personality types that are going to have a hard time building wealth. They're going to have a hard time creating that passive income because of the way they think. And so, people with fixed mindsets, it's very hard for them to do that because they only see where they are right now. They can't see the future. They can't see where they can be. Can't see where they're going. They only see the right now. And when you only focus on the right now and what you have right now, then you don't see the opportunities that are in front of you to be able to get more so that you can have a better life. People who are non-risk takers, if you're a non-risk taker, it's going to be very hard for you to create wealth, because in order to create wealth, you've got to be willing to take risks. You've got to be willing to take the risk that is needed to gain, because you got to put your money to work for you. And so you're going to have to be able to risk some money for the gain. Hoarders will have a hard time creating wealth because they have a scarcity mindset. Some people call it a poverty mindset. Very similar to a fixed mindset, but a person who's a hoarder who has a scarcity mindset, they're so focused on losing. I'm going to lose. And so they're holding on tightly to any and everything that they have, including money. They are unwilling to open up their hand and let that money go. And if you're not willing to open up your hand and let that money go and put it somewhere where your money can make money for you, then you're going to have a hard time building wealth. And hoarders are going to have a hard time because they have a scarcity mindset and a hard time of letting go in a lot of areas of their life. Okay, so that just kind of leads me to what I want to talk about today, because at the end of that clip, he talks about structure. He'll need prayer. We don't need prayer for everything. Some things we just need structure. And when it comes to building wealth, there's a structure to building wealth. And there's 4 ways to be able to create the passive income in order to build wealth. And all you have to do is follow the structure. You don't have to pray to God for the money. If you've set up the framework in which your money is working for you, then you'll have the structure to pay for the things that you want. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let's get into the 4 ways to create passive income. There's 4 ways to create passive income, and I'm going to give you these are high categories, but there's one way that they don't tell you about. Nobody talks about the 4th way to build passive income. So I'm going to reveal that secret to you. All right. Not the number one way, but the first way to build passive income is to invest in the stock market. Yes, I know. You're like, oh, Angelina. Yes, it's always going to be a way to build wealth. You put your money into the stock market and your money makes money for you. Now, I know the stock market has highs and lows. It has peaks and valleys. It goes up and down. But one thing is for sure, that it goes down, it's gonna go back up. You just have to know how to invest. You just got to know when to buy so that you get gains, and when to let go so you don't lose. Now, the advice that they give you, especially in your retirement, is just leave the money there. Leave the money there. It's going to go back up. And that is true. It will go back up. But you lose when you let your money sit there and it goes down, down, down. So you got to have a strategy. You got to work within a framework and then within a structure to know when to get in and when to get out. So investing in the stock market or any other type of securities, whether you want to do options, Forex, what are the other ones? Futures. If you want to do those, any type of trading or investing in some type of exchange, is going to be a great way to build wealth. You just got to know how to get in and when to get in and when to get out. All right. The second way to building wealth is through real estate, investing in real estate. Now, all ways that you invest and make money in real estate is not creating passive income. Okay. Passive income is when that asset is producing you income. So that comes with rentals, whether it's residential or whether it's commercial. You have a building of some type that you are renting out, and it's bringing you income whether you do anything or not. Now, the biggest thing that people know about investing in real estate is flipping. Flipping is not passive income because you are actively working on that flip. If you are the person who's acquiring the property, if you're the person who's getting the people to fix up the property or maybe even fixing up the property yourself, you're working with the real estate agent to sell the property, or you're renting it out yourself, you're the landlord. That's not passive income. Now, once you get it rented out, and you're getting that money coming in, that's passive. But if you're flipping to sell it, that's not passive. Unless you have someone else doing all the work. You're the investor, you put up the money, and someone else is acquiring the property. Someone else is fixing it up. Someone else is selling it. Someone else is managing the property. Then that's when it becomes number 3, a business. Investing in a business is a good way to build passive income so that you can build wealth. Now, a business is different than being an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur requires you to be there. But a business is when, again, your money is working for you. You have put some things in place, some automations in place. You have put some people in place to do the work. And whether you get up or not, you're still making money. Whether you get up or not, your website is selling your products. Whether you get up or not, you've got people buying your courses. That is a business. If your business doesn't make money when you're not working, then you're just an entrepreneur. You're not a business. All right. Now, number 4. Now, this is the secret that I am releasing to you. Number 4, that no one ever talks about, no one ever tells you about. Everybody always wants to talk about doing a business. They want to talk about getting real estate. They want to talk about investing in the stock market, but they never talk about number 4. And number 4 is selling insurance. Yes, selling insurance. When you sell insurance, that pays you over and over and over again, as long as the person keeps the policy. And if you build up a book of business large enough, you'll get to the point where whether you sell another policy or not, the policies that you have that stay in place and that are active, you will continuously get paid for them keeping those policies in place. So whether you're selling insurance, annuities, or maybe you're selling, doing active money management, those are all ways of which you can sell insurance type products. And as long as you retain the customer and they are keeping those policies, you will get paid over and over and over again. Okay. Now, if you want more information about how you can build a book of business and create passive income in any 4 of those ways, just let me know down in the comments that you're interested. Now, before we get out of here, I want to continue to go over some social media advice and let you know whether or not I agree with that advice or not. So this one says, a person tells us that never buy a car brand new. I've watched Escalades go from 100K new to 35K 4 years later. So the advice is not to buy a car new. Do I agree or do I disagree? I agree. Because it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Cars are not an asset. Assets appreciate in value. Assets produce you income. It gives you revenue. A car doesn't give you revenue. Now, banks and car dealers, and they like to try to make you believe that a car is an asset. A car is not an asset, because as soon as you drive that car off the lot, it depreciates. The value of what you pay for it is no longer worth it. That's why when people go to trade in their car after they've had it for so many years, they find themselves upside down. And in order to get a new car, they have to tack on that balance of the old car onto the new car. And now they even owe even more on this new car that they just bought than they really should, because again, we drive it off the lot and it depreciates. A car is not an asset. Anything that depreciates and doesn't produce you income is not an asset. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, Angelina, that's not necessarily true. A car may be a liability, but you can turn it into an income producing asset if you do something like Uber, okay? Because now your car is an asset because it's making you money when you're driving as Uber, but reality is it's not an asset. You drive it off, it's not worth what you're paying for it. So would I buy a car new? I never buy cars new. I always buy it like 1 or 2 years old, and it works just as fine and it's just as great, okay? Put your money where your money's going to make you money. Put your money into valuable things that's going to produce you an income to pay for the things that and pay for the lifestyle that you want. All right? Now, where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.